So this is Rahoon Cemetery, Rahoon, Rahoon Cemetery, to the west of Galway City. And what we're looking at here is the gravesite of the Christian brothers who died during their tenure at the industrial school in Salthill. And as you can see, each brother has got his own plaque and a big cross there in the centre to indicate they were the Christian brothers. So each Christian brother was identified, and you can see flowers spaced out along there. So people were obviously coming here to maintain it. And they were respected, you know, as I said. I'm going to move on now to where the boys who died at the industrial school and how they were treated in death. I actually remember this particular Christian brother. He died in 1958, shortly after I arrived at the institution in Salthill. And what we're looking at now, is the headstone, the miserable headstone that was erected to the 47 children who died between 1901 and 1951. And for most of that 50 years, this was all that marked their graves. Compared to what you've seen with the Christian brothers, each Christian brother had his own stone and etc. and was looked after. So this miserable headstone was all that was erected for the boys. Then some years later, probably 30 years ago, well after the last boy died in 51, a monument was erected, and I'll show you that in a minute. So what we've got here now is the monument that was erected on the site, this patch of green grass where 47 children were buried, totally unrecognised. No names, nothing, but obviously in the climate, when the climate changed and the religious lost their power, the people felt something ought to be done about this, and the names of the children ought to be put on a monument. So this was erected in their memory. We don't know how old they were when they died. All we have is the dates they died. As I said, the last one recorded on this monument is 1951. But I believe there were other children who died and were buried in another cemetery, but I wouldn't be able to verify that because I haven't come across it. But there's another cemetery in the centre of Galway. But so at least these boys are remembered now. And even this stone has been updated. A brand new stone has been erected in the past 5 years to replace this one. And that shabby little miserable headstone has been replaced as well. So the boys at least get recognition now that they were human beings. And their only crime was they were poor, or they were illegitimate, or whatever. So I just thought that ought to be recorded. So this is Rahoon Cemetery in Galway, Ireland.